Degree was born on August 5th, 1990, to parents Harold and Aquila Degree. She had an older brother named O'Brien, and the family made their home on Oakcrest Drive in Shelby, North Carolina, on the western edge of the Charlotte metropolitan area. Harold and Aquila worked full-time jobs, so Asha and her brother were latchkey kids. After school each day, they would walk home, let themselves in, and be expected to do their homework so it was finished by the time their parents came home from work. Asha and her brother O'Brien weren't sheltered necessarily, but Mr. and Mrs. Degree made sure that the family's life was centered around family, church, and school. In a 2013 interview with Jet Magazine, Aquila Degree was quoted as saying, "Every time you turn on the TV, there was some who lured somebody's child away via the internet." In February of 2000, Asha was attending 4th grade at Falston Elementary School near her home. Asha was a star point guard for her basketball team, and on Saturday, February 12, 2000, they had a regular season game in which they lost, their first loss of the season. Her parents recall she was upset about the loss, crying with some of her teammates afterwards, but then seemed to get over it and watched her brother play in his game. Nothing unusual or out of the ordinary for a 10-year-old playing competitive sports. On the next day, Sunday, February 13th, the children went to church with a relative and then returned home immediately following. Around 8 o'clock that night, the kids went to their shared bedroom and went to sleep. Around 9 p.m., a nearby car accident caused a power outage in the neighborhood, with the Degrees' home being one of the houses affected. The children did not reportedly wake up, and when the power came back on at 12:30 a.m. that night, Mr. Degree stuck his head in his children's bedroom and saw them both in their bed sleeping. He also checked on them again on his way to bed at approximately 2:30 a.m. on the morning of February 14th. Asha's brother O'Brien woke up when his father checked on them the second time, and after his father went to his bedroom, he recalls that he heard Asha's bed squeak. He didn't think much of it, assuming she was just changing positions, and just went back to sleep. Around this time, Asha apparently got out of bed, grabbed her book bag that she had previously packed with clothing and her personal items, opened the front door, and walked off. The first reported sighting of Asha Degree was between 3:45 a.m. and 4:15 a.m. by both a truck driver and another motorist on the road at the same time. They noticed her walking south on Highway 18, wearing a long-sleeved white t-shirt and white pants, near the junction of Highway 180. After seeing the news reports about Asha's disappearance, they contacted police about what they had seen. The motorist actually said that he had turned his car around because he realized how strange it was to see a young girl walking on a highway by herself at that hour. He circled 3 separate times searching for her, and finally saw Asha run into the woods by the road and disappear. County Sheriff Dan Crawford said, "We're pretty sure it was her because the descriptions they gave are consistent with what we know she was wearing." On the morning of Monday, February 14th, Aquila awoke at 5:45 a.m. to get the children ready for school. When she opened the children's room to wake them up, O'Brien was in his bed, but Asha was not, and Aquila was unable to find her. She told Harold she could not find their daughter, and he suggested Asha might have gone over to their mother's house across the street. When Aquila called there, her sister-in-law said Asha was not there. That's when I went into panic mode. By 6:40 a.m., the first police officers had arrived on the scene, with police search dogs arriving shortly thereafter. Unfortunately, the police dogs could not pick up Asha's scent. Mrs. Degree went through the neighborhood calling Asha's name. Friends, family, and neighbors canceled any plans they had for the day and immediately assisted in the search for Asha. Local news coverage prompted the 2 drivers I spoke of earlier, the truck driver and the motorist that attempted to approach Asha, to report their sightings to the police at this time. On day 2 of Asha's disappearance, candy wrappers were found in a shed along the highway near where Asha had been seen running into the woods. Along with the candy wrappers were a pencil, marker, and a Mickey Mouse-shaped hair bow that Mr. and Mrs. Degree confirmed were Asha's. Also found was a photograph of a young girl around Asha's age who has yet to be identified. These pieces of evidence were the only trace of her found during the first couple days of the search. After a week of searching for Asha, a total of 9,000 man-hours have been used to search a 3-mile radius of where she had last been seen. By this time, the flyers and posters had been put up all over the area, and even though 300 leads had been submitted with possible sightings of Asha, they did not lead to any new information. The Cleveland County Sheriff, in which the town of Shelby resides, stated at a news conference, "We have never really had that first good substantial lead." He urged the media to keep the story alive and for anyone with information to continue to call in. The media attention went national, with the Degree family appearing on The Montel Williams Show, America's Most Wanted, and The Oprah Winfrey Show within a month of Asha's disappearance. At this time, investigators believed Asha had planned and prepared to leave the Degree home several days leading up to her disappearance, but an FBI agent who worked on the case pointed to a lack of a solid reason that Asha would run away. There didn't seem to be any dysfunction in the family, no poor academic performances, nothing out of the ordinary that would raise any red flags. Still, investigators believed that something in Asha's life prompted her to leave, but that for some reason she either got off track or was abducted. On August 3, 2001, Asha's book bag and other items were unearthed during a construction project off of Highway 18 in Burke County, North Carolina, approximately 26 miles north of Shelby. The FBI took it to their headquarters for further forensic analysis, but the results from that testing have never been made public. In 2008, the Degree family established a scholarship in Asha's name for a deserving local student. They also host an annual walk to raise awareness and money to fund their search to find Asha. The walk starts at the Degree home and ends along Highway 18 near where she was last seen. In February 2015, the FBI announced that FBI agents, Cleveland County Sheriff's Office investigators, and State Bureau of Investigation agents were re-examining the case and re-interviewing witnesses. They also announced a reward up to $25,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for her disappearance. 15 months later, in May 2016, the FBI announced their reinvestigation of the case had turned up a possible new lead. They stated that there may have been a sighting of Asha on the night of her disappearance. They disclosed that Asha may have been getting into a dark green, early as 1970s Lincoln Continental Mark IV, or possibly a Ford Thunderbird from the same era along Route 18. In September 2017, the FBI announced that its Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team was in Cleveland County to assist in the investigation. They were there to, quote, provide on-the-ground investigative, technical, behavioral analysis, and an analytical support to find out more of what happened to Asha. The team worked alongside the FBI in Charlotte, the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office investigators, and the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation agents for 10 days. Since that time, local agents and investigators have conducted approximately 300 additional interviews. November 2020, an inmate named Marcus Mellon, who was convicted of sex crimes against children in 2014, wrote a letter to the Shelby Star claiming that Asha Degree was murdered and he knows where to find her. However, in February 2021, Cleveland County Sheriff Alan Norman announced that Mellon's claims had led to another dead end and that they were untrue. On the 20th anniversary of Asha's disappearance, the FBI confirmed that the book bag found back in August 2001 contained a copy of Dr. Seuss's McElligot's Pool and a t-shirt depicting the band New Kids on the Block. Strangely, neither appeared to have been her property before they were found in the bag, but the book was from the library at her elementary school. An investigator on the case said that these items are vital clues. Since February 2021, the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office and FBI have received 65 tips about Asha's disappearance. At this point, we're always going to hold out hope that Asha's still alive, because we have not found evidence otherwise, said Shelley Lynch with the FBI Charlotte Division. The FBI office in Charlotte couldn't go into specifics, but told a local news station in Charlotte, WBTV, that they've identified a number of people over the years who have been considered a person of interest for various reasons. There's a $45,000 reward for any information that can help solve the case. If you have any information, contact the FBI Charlotte at 704-672-6100 or your local FBI office. To this day, the disappearance of Asha Degree remains unsolved.